What's cracking, yo? Welcome back to Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. What's good, everybody? Welcome back, man. Some brand new content, adding more content to the Hakeem Olajuwon playlist. So this video, greatest big man ever, Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon, just stumbled upon from the YouTube channel Joseph Vincent. This is apparently a career documentary, so because it says that, I expected it to cover the length of his career, at least in the NBA with the Houston Rockets. So usually when I do these type of videos for like new players that I really haven't done much, within the first one or two videos, depending on what the video is about, I will talk about a somewhat detailed explanation of their career, or like a summary of their career that might last anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes of dialogue from me. But because this documentary, I expect it to talk about all these points for me, I'm not going to get into it. But just to give you a quick rundown before we get into the video, Hakeem Olajuwon was drafted in 1984, pick number 1 in the first round by the Houston Rockets, played his entire career with the Houston Rockets, with the exception of one season, 2001-2002 season. He played with the Toronto Raptors, I believe, but he was drafted in 84, played till 2002, but through 2001 with the Houston Rockets, which his career is notoriously known for. If you don't know, those 2 years during the Bulls' dominance in the 90s, when Jordan was gone and when he came back and they got beat by the Magic, during that 2-year span where the Bulls did not win, it was Hakeem Olajuwon and them boys that won those 2 championships. Hakeem also 2-time Finals MVP, Most Valuable Player, 94, 12-time NBA All-Star, 6-time All-First Team, 3-time All-Second Team, 3-time All-Third Team, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 5-time All-Defensive First Team, 4-time All-Defensive Second Team, NBA All-Rookie First Team. For his career, he had almost 27,000 points for almost 22 points per game, over 13,700 rebounds for 11 rebounds per game, almost 3,850 blocks for 3 blocks per game. Absolutely incredible. The dude was an absolute monster, and many people have Hakeem Olajuwon in their top 10 players of all time. Many people consider Hakeem Olajuwon the best center they ever seen play the game. Hakeem Olajuwon has some of the best footwork you'll ever see from any player, and arguably the best footwork of a big man that you will ever see. Most people have Hakeem as having the most skilled big man they've ever seen, best footwork for a big man they've ever seen. Dude could bring it all on both sides of the floor. He was dominant. He was unstoppable. The dream shake, the mid-range, he could do a lot of stuff on the floor. But that's all I'll say. I'll let the documentary take care of all the details. I've never watched this before, so I'm excited to get into it. I got respect for Hakeem. He's not in my top 10, but he's probably somewhere in my top 15, no doubt. All right? Let's get into it.
Dream was awesome. Dream was awesome. Unbelievable.
Hakeem the Dream.
A defensive juggernaut who averaged 3.1 blocks a game.
You may choose to remember him in years to come for that smooth little jumper from the baseline, or the devastating defense, or even the back-to-back NBA championships in the mid-90s.
And 17,000 plus with the famed wave.
What Dream brought to the game.
The Dream Shake at its perfection.
Hakeem's Dream Shake was a whirling array of shimmies and fakes that humbled would-be defenders.
It's amazing. I don't think people understand how good Olajuwon was.
Nice move, got him away from Robert Parrish.
I remember one time I gave him a ball, and he just laughed. nice elbow, brother. And then he came out and gave me and shot a crazy fadeaway. Yeah, he gave me one of them.
Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. His journey began in Lagos, Nigeria.
Hakeem had a captivating story. Born and raised in Nigeria, his first athletic loves were soccer and handball.
Hakeem grew up playing soccer.
I was playing other sports, soccer, volleyball, field hockey, high jump, more of an all-around athlete. but the coach was telling me that basketball is your game.
At 16 years of age, Hakeem had never touched a basketball.
He didn't start playing basketball until he was 15 years old, and 2 years later, he was a centerpiece of one of the most legendary basketball teams in college hoop history, the University of Houston's Phi Slamma Jamma.
His agility and balance was freakish for a man so large. In college, his offensive skills were still a work in progress. The coaching staff directed Hakeem to a local gym in the offseason. There, Hakeem trained with the legend and three-time NBA MVP, Moses Malone.
Three-time MVP of the league at that time, and perhaps the best big man in the game at that time, was his mentor. Taught him the low post moves, played against him every day, and so that's how he got better so quickly.
Moses would become the ultimate mentor to the Dream.
See, I had no idea Moses Malone was a mentor to Hakeem Olajuwon. I didn't know that. I had never heard that before, so that's news to me. But that certainly explains some things.
For the next 2 seasons, Hakeem became dominant on both ends of the court.
Juan Roseborough has it swatted away by Hakeem. I've got 6 blocks now for Olajuwon.
Dude, he be spiking volleyball, spiking.
Foregoing his senior year, Hakeem entered the 1984 NBA draft. If you want to know how good Hakeem was,
the Houston Rockets.
He went first overall in a draft that included Michael Jordan, and no one thinks it was a bad pick.
Select Hakeem Olajuwon of the University of Houston.
It is official. The well-attired Hakeem Olajuwon, who started playing basketball just 5 years ago from Nigeria, is now the #1 pick. He does not have to go 17,000 plus with the famed wave.
At that point in time, nobody was questioning the Hakeem over Michael Jordan draft.
Right.
Nobody. Hakeem was the no-doubt guy.
He's feeling terrific right now, Hakeem.
Hakeem the Dream. He has 9 points. But Olajuwon comes through in the lane, and Hakeem has 13 points.
Hakeem would join fellow 7-footer Ralph Sampson on the Rockets.
Reigning Rookie of the Year, center Ralph Sampson.
Inside to Ralph. Olajuwon gets the rebound at the other side. Well, that's what happens when you get the 6'10 Olajuwon, and that's what he really measures to be, and the 7'4 Sampson.
Sampson and Hakeem were dubbed the Twin Towers.
Blocked by Sampson. Davis blocked by Olajuwon, and here's Phil Ford. Ahead of the field, see you later, Sampson and Olajuwon with 2 big blocks inside.
The Towers showed instant chemistry.
Inside, Hakeem gets it, 22 points for Hakeem Olajuwon. Hakeem Olajuwon being congratulated, 24 points and 9 rebounds. And Ralph Sampson also playing an outstanding ball game.
In Hakeem's first 2 years, the Rockets went from last place to winning their division.
Hakeem is it's not enough words in the language to describe what he can do.
Sampson down the middle, 10-foot bank, no good, but it's taken by Olajuwon. He scores it. I'll tell you, they are doing a job. Oh, are these guys going to be tough about April? Here's a 20-footer by Sampson. That's good. Look at that.
As a rookie, Hakeem improved Houston's record by 19 wins, transforming the Rockets into a premier team.
While Jordan went on to win the NBA's Rookie of the Year award, Olajuwon did average 20 points, 12 rebounds, and nearly 3 blocks to lead Houston to 48 wins. That was a 19-game improvement in victories and 10 more than Jordan's Bulls, man.
The rookie from Houston. Olajuwon, slam dunk in the reverse. A lot of tempers are flaring, I guess.
There is a monster in Houston, Texas.
He really defused them at the other end, 59 to 57.
Hakeem Olajuwon is singularly the most incredible athlete I've ever witnessed, read about, and seen in person.
Oh, the rebound.
Dunk Olajuwon. plays very much under control. Off a World Championship Club at Portland. Under to Olajuwon. Slam dunk away from Worthy. To Olajuwon. All the way. Slam dunk. Wait. Slam dunk Olajuwon. Holy smoke. Did anybody see that pogo stick?
Lucas into Hakeem. As he raised basketball count. Good continuation play.
Hakeem had no issues adjusting to the physicality of the NBA.
Last night, yet another fighting incident. This one in Seattle's win over Houston. Some fisticuffs marred the contest in Seattle. Early fourth quarter, left side of the screen. Hakeem Olajuwon squares off with Clement Johnson. There's the punches. Ralph Sampson trying to be peacemaker there, but
whoa, what a shot. 7 of 8.
Watch the quickness here. Shakes one way, he walks every time.
The Dream wasn't shy about confrontations in his younger days.
Foul outside. Oh, look at Olajuwon. Elbow Shays in the face.
Olajuwon did the same thing last year. It cost his team the series. There's a technical on him.
Jack Madden right on the scene. Olajuwon
he's gone.
Pushes Madden. He's going to be out.
Gone.
Olajuwon ejected from the game.
They breezed through the playoffs, all the way to the Western Conference Finals.
In Houston, the biggest dream of all has been Hakeem himself, who spearheaded the drive to oust the Lakers.
Kareem, how did he get in there? Why, Olajuwon, and it's still
They
Laker
faced
ball.
off against Magic and Kareem's Lakers.
I think most people don't know, Hakeem went to the finals before 1990.
Here's Olajuwon, doubled by Randall.
During this series, Hakeem averaged 31 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 blocks on 52% shooting.
I think they very well will be.
You know they are with the Lakers. Olajuwon.
To go up 2-1 on the defending champion Lakers, who had Kareem and Magic and Worthy, to go up 2-1 on them and outplayed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Olajuwon again and winds up on his back. And Hakeem Olajuwon with 6 straight points. McRae will inbound. 1 second on the clock.
1986, year 2, second year, or obviously in the second year, he's in the finals.
It goes, it's over. A miraculous shot. Off balance has given the Houston Rockets the Western Conference Championship and a trip to Boston for the NBA World Title.
The Dream's historic effort lifted his team into the finals.
A year later, Olajuwon averaged 31 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 blocks to lead Houston to a 4-1 Western Conference Finals victory over Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and the Showtime Lakers.
They lost to Larry Bird's Celtics, but the future of such a young team appeared bright.
We thought with Sampson and Olajuwon that we would be the team to beat for the next 10 years.
Unfortunately, the next season, Ralph Sampson was injured, the first of many Sampson injuries. Hakeem continued to develop, but the team's woes didn't end with Sampson's injuries.
Trying to get it inside to Lister. It's stolen by Hakeem.
The Rockets' starting shooting guard and their backup shooting guard were banned over drug use. Sidebar. This is Andrew Wiggins' dad.
Here's Robert Reed off the bracket.
Okay, I was thinking that as I was like, is that Andrew Wiggins' dad? And I was like, nah, probably just same last name. But that is Andrew Wiggins' dad. I didn't even know Wiggins had a dad that played in the league. And I definitely didn't know about the drug ban with the Rockets. No.
Olajuwon has 5 points in the game. Denver's shot is rejected by Hakeem. Big battle there between Lister and Hakeem. Jump hook is on target.
Hakeem still earned first-team All-NBA honors and led the Rockets back to the playoffs. But they failed to return to the finals. The following year, Sampson was traded away. The Rockets' bright future was suddenly bleak.
Sampson on Olajuwon. Blocked by Hakeem.
Hakeem continued to grow as a player.
39-26.
Oh, boy, work straight away. Right side angle to Olajuwon. They clear it out. He'll drive on Big Mark. Go by him. Slam it home. Got it. He's fouled.
However, the talent exodus on the Rockets had made him a one-man show.
As this fourth quarter begins, they give it to Hakeem.
Hakeem to me is number one.
That's skill, man. That's skill.
Nice move. Got him away from Robert Parrish.
In the following years, the Rockets would suffer a string of first-round defeats. Hakeem would bear the brunt of the criticisms for his team's shortcomings.
And starting at center, 7 feet from the University of Houston, number 34, Hakeem Olajuwon.
Dude, his blocks are nasty.
I cannot believe that block shot. Hakeem Olajuwon, who entered the ball game leading the league in block shots with over 4.5, and that one was as big as any.
Hakeem is arguably the greatest defensive player in history.
Jackson turning in the dribble in from the left side, kicks to Jordan in the left corner.
Get that out of here.
By the 90s, he was the best big man in the league.
Found him a nice home here. There's Olajuwon on the drive, lays it up for 2.
This is not the first time that I've disagreed with the coaches in the NBA.
That's for sure.
My ranking would be Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaquille O'Neal, David Robinson, Brad Daugherty, Patrick Ewing, and then Alonzo Mourning.
Hakeem's already dominant game went to another level.
And shoots. 30 points for Hakeem.
Look, parked right in there, Bill. Look.
Olajuwon.
During Hakeem's 10-year peak, he averaged almost 25 points.
Hakeem puts it up for 2. Olajuwon. 42 points.
4 blocks and 12 rebounds a game.
Takes it in. This is
10-year stretch, 25, 10 plus boards. What they say, like 12 rebounds, 4 blocks. My God, listen, man. I don't argue with people when they have Hakeem in the top 10. Dude was a monster, and many people, especially in those early 90s, a lot of people would say Hakeem was better than Shaq.
Shea has it blocked by Olajuwon. Olajuwon with a block. Oh, what a game! The dream. There it is, turns baseline. Boom! Olajuwon, 52 points, and Denver calls timeout. Oh, what a game by the Dream.
Incredible.
52 points, 18 rebounds. Quadruple double for Hakeem Olajuwon. Only the third quadruple double in the history of the NBA.
I want to highlight some of the matchups with Michael Jordan's Bulls.
Got it to Jordan. And he just looked back and pointed.
They were epic encounters that brought out the best in both squads.
Olajuwon for the slam. Here's the steal by Jordan. Michael.
That crossover.
From 91 to 93, Hakeem held a 5-1 record against Jordan's Bulls.
B.J. Armstrong, Michael Jordan, Bill Cartwright.
True.
The lineup for Chicago. Rockets will be playing perimeter defense. Jordan for line.
Here, he blocks MJ's game-time shot attempt.
Blocked by Olajuwon, and Hakeem takes it to end the game. That was his 6th blocked shot of the night. And it preserved a 105-102.
The Dream was so dominant that no one in league history recorded more blocked shots than Hakeem.
What a pure, beautiful block. Hakeem knew he could do it when he came back. Look, he recovers quickly.
Almost 600 more than second place. Expectations were sky high following the terrific season.
Hakeem starts a dunk fest.
Leading by example, Hakeem dominated on both ends of the court.
Sensational game for that man. Hakeem Olajuwon, 37 points, and the Houston Rockets going to a record of 15 and...
The Rockets shot out to a 15-0 start.
Boom, perfect timing.
Hakeem Olajuwon, that jump hook again. Montross is going.
Would tie the 1948 Washington Capitals for the best start in NBA history at 15-0.
Hakeem averaged 27.3 points, 12 rebounds, 3.7 blocks, and almost 2 steals a game.
Here we go. Richmond puts it up, falling away.
Mitch Richmond can shoot. People sleep on Mitch Richmond. He can shoot the 3-ball really well. Yeah, when I think of like best defensive players ever, definitely Hakeem's in that conversation. Bill Russell's in that conversation too.
To Olajuwon for the slam dunk, and the Rockets lead it 109-108.
He won MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and Finals MVP in the same season. The only player ever to do so.
Congratulations on being the 1994 NBA Most Valuable Player.
Big honors, man.
Hakeem's historic season had lifted his team back into the NBA Finals.
He led the league in steals one year, so defensively he was incredible. Defensive Player of the Year, MVP.
For 3 memorable years, red and black were the colors of royalty in the NBA. But that dynasty is now history. Soon, a new champion will reign. This symbol of supremacy rides on the outcome. The two teams intent on seizing the prize have different styles and personnel, but they share something essential.
Michael Jordan has retired, so for Barkley, for Ewing, for Hakeem, for all these guys, hey, this should be our chance.
Against the New York Knicks and their dominant big man, Patrick Ewing, Hakeem would solidify himself as the best in the game.
The same sense. So Ori is through for the game. Ewing rejected by Olajuwon.
I remember that play.
He holds Patrick Ewing, an all-time great center, to 19 points per game.
I remember watching that play.
The Knicks did everything they could to slow the dream. Roughing him up, contacting him constantly.
John Starks has seemingly an open 3 to win the title.
7 or 6/10 seconds to go. Rockets lead by 2, and here is Starks.
And Hakeem go gadgets it and blocks it.
And the Rockets
go gadget arm. Inspector Gadget. Woo-hoo.
Win! The ball was tipped. It was partially blocked. And Olajuwon, Olajuwon with the big.
The first full day of summer, the Houston Rockets and New York Knicks will determine this basketball season's NBA champion.
He averages for the finals 27 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 blocks. And they end up winning the title in Game 7.
5:20 to go in this opening quarter. Olajuwon! Yes, and it counts.
The Rockets had captured the title.
And back comes Kenny Smith. The Houston Rockets are the 1993-94 NBA champions.
Hakeem the Dream was now a world champion.
The only player ever to be named MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and NBA Finals MVP in the same season. That same year, he also became the only player ever to lead his team in scoring, rebounding, assists, blocks, and steals for an entire postseason.
The next season, the Rockets went out and got Hakeem's old college partner, Clyde Drexler, who was no longer an all-star.
Team appearing to be ill-equipped to defend their title, they made a blockbuster deal with Portland to bring in Hakeem's former teammate at the University of Houston, Clyde Drexler.
But Drexler provided just enough energy to aid Hakeem.
Here we go.
They're looking for Clyde. Here it is.
Good stroke.
Entering the playoffs as a 6th seed, the Rockets were underdogs.
Miracle West Arena already up and rocking as we take a look at the starting lineups for this Game 7 between the Rockets and the Phoenix Suns.
This team is the 6th. They are not that good of a team. They trade for Clyde Drexler midway through the year. They're kind of scuttled.
No one expected them to return to the finals.
Olajuwon and the foul. Hakeem with the jump hook, got the basket and the foul.
Hakeem averages 30, 12, and 6.
And the closing moment. Olajuwon spins again on Danny Shays. Hayes with the steal at the buzzer. And the Houston Rockets are going back to the Western Conference Final for the 2nd straight year.
Against David Robinson, Hakeem made it personal. Robinson had one MVP, but Hakeem was determined to show him who was really the best.
He just told me before the game, said, Mario, he's borrowing my trophy. Just like that. I mean, I never heard Dream talk no mess, so when I heard that, I was like, it's personal. It's personal.
Armed with the extra motivation to prove he was the best big man in the game, Hakeem dismantled the Admirals.
For Olajuwon, 4 points in the game.
This is the matchup that Houston should take advantage of with David Robinson.
Robinson was powerless against the Dream.
If David Robinson is not quick enough to stop you, nobody is.
Olajuwon has been torching David Robinson inside with an assortment of moves, and Robinson trying to get a body on him, get him physical, but the reason he's going to have problems, he's able to post too deep. It's just too deep. Too good.
It was here Hakeem pulled off some of his most iconic Dream shakes.
His numbers in this series, just phenomenal, doing it in all aspects of the game. He has given the Rockets a commanding lead.
With each outing, it became
37, 11, and 4.
Clearer and clearer who the best big man in the game was.
One of the stars of the soon-to-be-released motion picture Apollo 13.
Hey, young Tom Hanks.
I tell you, Olajuwon has David Robinson
just bamboozled. Come on, the Admiral.
Olajuwon takes the drive, puts on
the Rockets advanced past the top-seeded Spurs and were headed to their 2nd consecutive NBA Finals.
What he did to David Robinson and the Spurs should have been illegal. It was the greatest single individual performance I think I've ever seen.
Hakeem the Dream? You seen what he did in the finals against Shaq?
In the finals, Hakeem would face yet another legendary big man, the young, up-and-coming Shaquille O'Neal. In Game 1, Hakeem tipped in the game-winning shot. From there on, it was all Houston.
So they might not mention it here, but it was actually a good battle. Like Hakeem got off, Hakeem got his numbers, and the Houston Rockets won. But some people try to make it seem like Shaq didn't do anything in that series. Shaq popped off too. Don't get it twisted now. But hey, Hakeem popped off a little better and won the games, won the championship. But a lot of people sit there and say that Shaq just got dominated by Hakeem and Shaq wasn't doing nothing on the other end. That's not true.
I've never seen anyone not be outpowered by Shaq but him.
The Rockets dominated the Magic, sweeping them in 4 games.
Get them going one way, come back in the other, and get right in the air. Virtually impossible to defend there.
Hakeem became the only player in history to win back-to-back championships as the lone all-star on his team.
Olajuwon improvising once again.
Giving Shaq that work.
Hakeem played until 2001, but his most memorable moments came in the playoffs.
The Houston Rockets have won their second consecutive NBA championship. They have swept the Orlando Magic.
The best thing that could have happened, one of the best things that could have happened to Shaq was getting torched by Hakeem. Right? Like I said, Shaq gave work back too on the offensive end. But sometimes you gotta get an ass kicking like that. Because I know Shaq thought he was the best big man in the league, on top of the world. You know, being dominant, all that stuff. All the noise was surrounding Shaq at that time. And Hakeem said, "Hold on, young buck. It's not your turn yet, boy."
Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon.
Nobody brings it home like Joe Vincent. Nobody.
Make it so.
So just for a side-by-side comparison on Shaquille O'Neal's numbers, you know, playing the center position and Hakeem playing the center position. Like I said, Shaq statistically played well, and even watching the game offensively, he played well. The team lost, and you know, Hakeem played a bit better and was better defensively. But Shaq averaged 28 points, 12.5 rebounds, 6.3 assists in that sweep, and field goal percentage was always high, damn near 60% field goal percentage. It probably would have behooved Shaq to take more shots, man. He should have been getting off like 20, 25 shots a game, to be quite honest with you. But he was only getting off about 18.5 shots per game. So, and then Hakeem, compared to Shaq's 28, 12, 6, 12.5, 6, Hakeem had damn near 33 points per game, 11.5 rebounds, and 5.5 assists per game. And, you know, you want to start talking about the block shots. He averaged 2 block shots per game. Now, 2 of those games, he had 4 block shots. And the last two games of that series, he didn't have any. That's how he got that 2 average. And Shaq had 2.5 blocks during that series, right? Hakeem had 2 steals compared to Shaq only having 0.3 steals. So defensively overall, Hakeem was better, and just being a lockdown defender, deflections, changing shots, everything like that nature. But you know, the head-to-head comparison was almost comparable, and but Hakeem was definitely a bit better and impact as well. But there you have it. Hakeem, a lot of people have Hakeem in their top 10, and I never say anything against it, man. They seen what he could do on the floor. They seen him dominate other bigs that, you know, people would normally, you hear, put him ahead of Hakeem, you know. But, you know, the dude is an absolute monster, man. Absolute, both ends of the floor. I mean, really, like, I'd have to really sit down and think about it, but outside of Hakeem, the 2 best defensive players of all time, Hakeem, Bill Russell. I mean, but you know, you could probably put those 2 right there, neck and neck, maybe close to each other. You got to remember, during Bill Russell's time, a lot of the stats that they keep track of now weren't really being kept track of back then. You know, in Bill Russell's time, but when Hakeem blocks those shots, I just swear he takes all the air out of the ball. Like, how did that ball not explode? offensive repertoire, the defensive repertoire, monster. A lot of people believe that even if Jordan hadn't retired and went off to play baseball, that they wouldn't have beat the Rockets. They say, hey, they didn't have Rodman at the time. They just didn't have anybody in the interior that could deal with Hakeem. And then they chalk it up to the season series during the regular season, 5-1 they said. But I'd have to see it play out, analytically and, matchup-wise, looking at it, that argument, there's a valid argument to be made. It's all hypothetical, but, there wasn't an answer for Jordan either. And Jordan was a defensive juggernaut as well, but not to the extent that Hakeem was, no question about it. But would have loved to see it. Would have loved to see it play off in the actual playoffs when the stakes are at their highest. But we never got to see it. Boy had to go play baseball and chase some other dreams he had. Anyway, y'all let me know what you think about it. Where do you have Hakeem Olajuwon all time on your ranking list? Do you believe Hakeem Olajuwon is the best center to ever play the game? Do you think he's the most skilled player to ever play the game? I'd love to hear your opinion. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, stay notified, and I'll catch you on the next one. We out, baby.